What ho, chaps? How the devil? It is the Angry Bootneck for something a bit different. This time, instead of doing the BBC Spews live, I'm doing the 2021 Bootneck's Bookmark review. What this is a very simple thing. Whenever I'm sitting in bed or perusing a tablet, looking at the news from the day, and all of a sudden I'm astounded by the communist lunacy, reality denial, general psychoticness of the freak show that currently runs the world, I always tap Bookmark. And often I put it on my BBC Spews on a weekend. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So in no particular order, I'm going to go through I think there's about 15 stacked up in my bookmarks bar, and have a quick laugh at them. Welcome along for the ride. Strap yourselves in. I'm sure it's full of absolute Looney Tunes. And as we now approach the arse end of 2021, I pray that we get even half as much lunacy from next year. Because I'll tell you what, I had a whale of a time. The world is completely tonto, and I feel as if it's all for my viewing pleasure. Like I'm in the Matrix, and the tyrannical android that took over the world said, "He's a good lad, Bootneck. Let's just fill the fucking airwaves with constant degenerate shit, and he'll just have a boner 24/7. We will keep him erect until the stars burn cold." So, winner. In no particular order, let's get through it. The Christmas tree is going away today because it's New Year's Eve. I'm also going to try and wingle my way onto Simon Sideways' New Year review because I seen him having a chat about it earlier. We'll see. Hopefully I'll get on and have a brief chat before the bells chime. If not, this'll have to do you until 2022. But fear not, ladies and gents, the Bootneck is going nowhere, despite the endless, devious machinations of Susan and her cartel in Silicon Valley. I will not be silenced, and I don't care if anybody other than you currently watching gets to see it. If I have to go on Rumble or Odyssey or whatever, I will do. So fear not anybody who is scared thinking, I don't think I'll be able to cope with this degenerate communist noncery without a foul-mouthed northern man swearing about it. Don't you worry, boys and girls, I've got your back. Let's get started. Esports. Why are there so few professional gamers? Why? Well, I'll tell you why. Because anyone who's ever met a bastard woman knows that women have got less interest in traipsing around a virtual battlefield with a pretend machine gun and rinsing Chinese people. That's why terrorists in real life don't seem to concern women as much as men, because men are obsessed with violence. Alas, it is a failing of our species. It's all that testosterone. Women just not as interested in machine gunning virtual Arabs as as blokes are. So that's why. That's why. Do I need to explain it any further? Has anyone watching got a husband who's female? Not a husband that's female. That doesn't make any sense. Has any women watching got a husband who doesn't play video games at all, but you love them? There are women gamers out there, but because of those much maligned gender differences, they don't like video games as much as men. And because of evolutionary biology, they're not actually quite as good as them. Men have faster reaction times. This is a known fact to anybody who's read any long books. So there are dozens of reasons why there are fewer professional gamers. And that's that. We don't need to watch their dog shit video, and we don't need to talk about it any further. Women can make easy money online by showing their split kippers to the entire world. Why worry about training and messing around with those boring video games when you can just get your bacon drapes out for the boys and they'll send you $50,000 a month? Frankly, that's a damning indictment of men, because we're not very clever. It's too easy to rake it in by just showing us what you piss with. So what's the point in training on video games you don't like as much anyway? All right? Winner. Ladies, hats off to you. You don't want to be a sad bastard and spend 20 hours a day playing video games. Not when you can simply show the boys your wet lettuce and coin it in. Winner. Hats off to you, girls. Work smarter, not harder. 25th of February, China denies requiring anal swabs from US diplomats. Well, you can deny it all you want, lads. we're well aware that a Chinese Communist Party's word is worth less than a 2-bedroom semi in Middlesbrough. Yeah, and frankly, from what I pay in rent in California, I could be the mayor of Middlesbrough. I could own 3 streets in the town centre. So yeah, their word is worthless. They denied it required US diplomats to undergo anal swab tests. But we know because the diplomats complained about it. Isn't that good? The Chinese now own Disney, the NBA, all of the sports. Basically, if you're an American, you shouldn't watch sports, because if you do, you're helping the Chinese. They own us body and soul. What you should do is not care about any of these trivial things and not give them your money and spend all day complaining about communists instead. much more useful. But that's a brilliant story, and I just want to bring it up again so we can all remember that in 2021, the United States really did bend over and take it up the dirt box for the Chinese. Literally. Yeah, lots of people overuse the word literally. I hate it. Stop doing it. Oh, I literally jumped out of my skin. You didn't. You didn't. Otherwise, sensible YouTubers make this mistake frequently. You didn't literally jump out your skin or you'd be dead. But China really did literally insert things up American diplomats' shitboxes on Biden's watch. How good is that? Here's a good one. Young black people have to work 3 times as hard. Well, speaking of absolute fantasy, there's another good one from the BBC. Really? Work 3 times as hard? When all of the numbers and data has proven that the best people don't get the job anymore? Really? When Middlesbrough is a poor northern town and the fire department looks like the cast of The Cosby Show? Yeah, really? When black people are 6 times more likely to get into university when they're on free school meals? In fact, it's about 12 times more likely, isn't it? 58% of them on free school dinners get to go to university, as opposed to like 6% of white lads from council estates. Absolute bollocks. Although it is the BBC, so why would you expect anything factual from those lunatics? When Greta Thunberg met Margaret Atwood on Zoom, I have no idea why I saved that. Maybe I was going through a masochistic phase and I wanted to, masturbate whilst watching two women that I despise so much it causes me physical pain to watch them. And by the way, look at the clip of Margaret Atwood. She's got an head like a witch doctor's rattle. It looks like John Lithgow with a wig on. And that weird hypercephalous mutant on the right is just the modern prophetess of doom. She should be wandering around with a sandwich board on, gibbering about ravens, because she's a fucking lunatic. And I have no interest in anything these twats say, so I don't know why I saved it. Maybe I was drunk. Calderdale councillor condemned for can't feed, don't breed comments. Roger Taylor sounds like he's switched on. He said he will not apologise for saying if you can't feed, don't breed, in response to an email about supporting school bills. Hey, Roger, you are one base gentleman. The obvious point to take away from this is poor people don't need help feeding the kids, because everybody who's a mutant has got 30 kids. Mick Philpott was bog standard English parent, right? If you're middle class or you're working class and you actually pay your way and pay your council tax and pay your bills, they've normally got like 1 or 2 kids tops. We aren't breeding very much anymore, except for chavs who breed like wet gremlins. They can't stop. It's like, there's another, there's another, just squeezing them out left, right and Chelsea. Don't know who daddy is. Might have been the pizza boy. Might have been that bloke who rogered me in an alley out the back of the boozer. Who cares? I need baby for money. Fucking do one. Roger knows what he's talking about, and every working class person knows it. And Guardian readers can cry and go, oh my God, he's being prejudiced. You've never even walked through a council estate, dickhead. I lived in one. I know what the crack is. You, ladies and gents watching, who actually pull your pudding out and work for a bastard living, you know what the crack is. The only people who have 20 kids nowadays are either billionaires or toothless, one-eyed simpletons. It's like Darwinism in reverse. If you have a normal daughter now, by the time she's 50, she'll be the only girl in town without a fucking hunchback. She will be Esmeralda, pestered endlessly by 10,000 quasies. That's the world we've created. Only the mutants breed, everybody knows it, and Roger is on the money. US election, all Republicans should marry Democrats. What is that? Is that some sort of joke? Is this because people say get married and you'll be miserable? You want to make people more miserable? What type of lunatic wrote this? Do you want spousal abuse to increase? Jesus. I've never laid a finger on my missus. I wouldn't dream of doing it. But if she was a fucking dyed-in-the-wool communist, I think you've got a strong case for preemptive self-defense there. I'm kidding. Gentlemen, I'm a conservative. That means, unlike the legions of woke feminist allies that usually have a collection of heads in the freezer or some sort of crazy fuck dungeon full of captive teenage girls in the cellar. I'm right of centre, so I don't approve of anything like that. If you want to go and see a YouTuber that thinks it's totally acceptable to rape, abuse and torture people, go and find some of those millions of Labour voters that never said nout about tens of thousands of grooming gangs torturing little kids up and down the country. Go and have a word with them. Owen Jones is probably pro-spousal abuse, but the Bootneck isn't. So, prospective nonces, you're in the wrong place. Sorry. Chiralis, why a feminist detective show was banned in Pakistan. Oh, really? Do we think the BBC needs to tell us? A new Pakistani web series called Chiralis has created an uproar in the country for its bold subject matter and depiction of its female leads. Well, listen. If you're not a BBC employee, you know why it got banned, and I don't need to elucidate any further. All I will say is Chiralis, or whatever it's pronounced, is lucky she hasn't had a quick trip off a rooftop. Or is currently chained to the sink. Although maybe that's what the name is. Chiralis. It's a portmanteau. A portmanteau. You know, when they mix two words together. Chiralis. It's chained to the fucking rails. Right. They found a handrail outside, like the women's refuge, and they beat her up with sticks and chained her to it and said, "This is what you get when you try to get a job. You dirty Kafirs. How dare you not respect the teachings of..." I can't go down that road or I'll get banned. We know why it's causing uproar, and we know why Pakistan, for all of their praising it, the left that is, on social media, is probably not as nice a place to live as Yorkshire, which might explain why half of Pakistan appears to have moved to Yorkshire. I'll leave it there. Instagram filters, you can't wear my skin for likes. British-born Chinese vlogger Xu Lin uses Instagram for her storytelling and used filters to retouch her posts in the past. So apparently, if you use Instagram filters, you're a disgusting bigot, and not only should you be ashamed, you should be in the gulag breaking rocks for 25 years to shore up the failing economy. Really? Yeah. We don't need to watch this, do we? We know what it's going to say. It's going to be bollocks. To look for a polite term, bollocks. Pure nonsense. Using an Instagram filter doesn't prove anything about you. Doesn't prove your intent, doesn't prove that you're a good person, doesn't prove that you're a bad person. It's just something young people do to amuse themselves. So please, Xu Lin, take your head for a shit and stop polluting our already lamentable taxpayer-funded news service. All right? Cheers, love. Air China magazine, London race slur sparks anger. This one made me cry laughing. I don't know why I've seen it. It's from 2016. It says, and I'm quoting the Chinese government, who the BBC don't criticise enough because they aren't white. London is generally a safe place to travel. However, precautions are needed when entering areas mainly populated by people that aren't natives. We advise tourists not to go out alone at night, and females always to be accompanied by another person when travelling. Spicy as fuck. That's way spicier than anything the Bootneck could ever say. I suppose it's getting away with butchering tens of thousands of Uyghurs. They've got the bit between the teeth now that they think they can do whatever they like. Thanks to the complicit attitude of Western governments and Western communists and all of Silicon Valley and all of the radio and the TV stations and the civil service and the police. Basically, everybody's woke except us. Huzzah! Nice one. I've always wanted to feel special, and now I am. That's how much of a tiny minority we're in. I think that's going to have to do me because I want to get this out and edited before New Year's Eve's done. So, right, there we go. Bootneck's bookmark review for 2021. It was fucking mental. Lunacy from start to finish. Basically, it started with the Chinese rogering the Americans, and it never ended. It's still going on, and we're going to get bummed senseless in 2022. But do not worry, I and people like me on YouTube will be around in some format, whether it's on this platform or another, to keep you amused. So don't despair. Throw your heads back and laugh at the madness. That's all we can do. Happy New Year, everybody. Have a great time. Get pissed and get ready for a year of abject fucking chaos. It's gonna be a wild ride. Buckle those seatbelts and I'll walk you through it all with my usual panache. Thanks for all the support this year. I really appreciate it. I've managed to get pissed several times without having to dip into my own pocket, and that's a marvellous perk. Even though I do this for love and rum. Alright, thanks for watching. Happy New Year. We will have a great 2022 together, I guarantee you that. See you very soon. God save the Queen, and God bless America. And oh yeah, fuck you, Susan. Susan!